Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So you guys just told me American Idol's still on.
And it blew your pompadour straight up into the air.
Which it has to be 20 years, right?
Longer than 20.
Longer than 20?
Yeah, I think I think they may have already celebrated their 20th anniversary.
Is it the business model that keeps it going?
Yeah.
Because it's more than just a show now. It generates income with the actual talent that they run through there, right? Because they get them on in a contract and then they do live shows.
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
sure
they
Live
make money.
Nation
Yeah.
is wrapped in there somewhere because they do these tours. You know, all the dancing, all the bigger shows do it, like Dancing with the Stars does it, American Idol does it, America's Got Talent does it. Those are your big three, right? Dancing with the Stars, America's Got Talent, and then American Idol. Your biggest
What about
of
The Voice?
Three. Yeah, I think you. Okay,
Does
thank
The Voice
you, Sam.
do the
tour? I think they do.
I think they do as
I think
well.
they do.
Yeah.
But I think your biggest out of all of those, and it surprises people, even though American Idol is the heritage brand. It's the Kleenex, right? It's the big one that
Kind of kicked it all off.
kind of
I
kicks it
guess.
off. I believe that America's Got Talent is the beasto in this scenario.
I feel like The Voice is because it has the bigger celebrity judges.
But nobody
teams
has.
or
Nobody
whatever
has
the
the
hell.
brand of America's Got Talent, or what is it called?
American Idol?
American Idol is big, is just so gigantic, and
so we're all on different pages on this one because I say AGT, which is what they call it. When you abbreviate it, that's when you know you're king, man. It's like KFC. It's like you've made it when you abbreviate it.
But
AMT, a mediocre time.
I think
That's an institution in this city.
with America's Got Talent, they use a lot of established acts already, and they
yes.
even have contracts with other places, and with America's or
Too many Americas.
Yeah.
the
Talent.
the singing
Talent
one.
or
Idol.
Idol.
Those are a lot of they're not under contract with anybody, therefore they can get them under contract with American Idol and put them on tour.
They're
I
doing
wonder
it-
why they got rid of it at Hollywood Studios. Remember the American Idol experience?
We used to have some friends that worked there. Like we had like some
Because
performers.
if it's still going on and it's still popular, I wonder why they got rid of it.
It's not as popular as it used to be. It's not the big dog anymore. I mean, if it,
No.
like
Yeah.
there are even
other
singers.
shows.
I think there are even singers that would do better on America's Got Talent. Even
It's just the business model of it's kind of brilliant if like you put this huge audition and try to find talent and then go through this process and make it a show and then make the people famous on TV through the process of the show.
Yeah.
And then once they're well known, then you put them on tour and make a huge cut, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
get them under contract. And so you're making money through the entertainment and the commercials and then the live ticket sales because you essentially made this person famous.
there's another stream
you know.
too that we're missing out on that I always thought was super clever. So what they'll do is, and they used to do this way more, I think, back in the day. But so American Idol, America's Got Talent, what they'll do is if they have a person, especially American Idol, so they'll get these kids, because it used to be like kids, now it's like everybody, but they'll get these performers to perform a cover of a tune that they've licensed, and then they'll record it and mix it during the week and then throw it up on streaming services to generate money there too.
Yeah.
And that's them. That's not the artist. Like,
It's a machine, yeah.
Fantasia Barrino, I know that's old. That's like, what, 15, 20 years ago. But if she recorded a song, let's say she covered Rolling on a River by,
Tina
Turner, which that would actually work, I think.
Yeah.
That's actually decent. That's the
She
only.
may have covered
Yeah, that's the only example I've ever said during the show that actually made sense. But then American Idol can make money off of that. So if that becomes like, let's say, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the week of 2006, that was the most popular song. Well, they were getting a cut of that sweet, sweet iTunes, right? If not all of it.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
I think they make money that way too on video. Like, see, there's another one. Like, if they do a behind the scenes video that's on American Idol's YouTube page, or a video, the vignettes that they do. You remember when they'd have them hanging out of a Ford and they're drinking a Coca-Cola, like all of that. They're making money off of that too, right?
oh yeah.
Everything.
The marketing money, yeah. But that's probably why it's lasted so long, because still the business model of, making these people famous, then making the money on the back end when they tour, probably still works enough to keep the show around. Like the
Yeah.
show's rating itself would have been canceled a long time ago if they didn't have all this back end way
Yeah.
to make the money, because like you said, there's no way it's still as like it's not definitely not as popular and less popular than all the other shows, but just the machine behind it is still.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still making money off probably the original stars that they created.
You think Kelly
20 years ago.
Clarkson still giving them some monies?
I would imagine she is,
For
right?
her, what about for her TV show? Does she owe American Idol money for that?
No,
It depends
no,
on the
no, I think
contract.
that's her own deal.
What channel is
I don't
she
think she's linked to them for good.
I don't know. Some of these
Dude,
contracts
Yeah,
are
you
crazy.
never know how
Yeah,
she
yeah.
signed her soul away.
Because think about it, you have no choice. There's no leverage when you're nothing, right? So you have to
Yeah.
sign your soul away. You can't be like, oh, you're taking too much of my
Of
future
nothing,
profits.
yeah.
I have nothing
believe
now.
She's out of her American
They
Idol
have to,
deal.
yeah.
I think.
I
that
mean, you can't hold you for a lifetime.
I think
contract.
this actually came up where she was like, "Yeah, that was great, and I worked well with those people, and doing
move
her own
on,
thing."
yeah. But all the other people that never made it to Kelly Clarkson level, like what was the guy with gray hair that everybody made fun of? or
Oh, hold
whatever?
on, Taylor
Hicks.
Taylor
Yes.
Hicks.
I'm sure he is still performing somewhere.
Look up
and
Taylor Hicks.
What's he been up to?
American Idol
here's
still
a prediction.
getting a cut of something.
Here is my hot take prediction for Taylor Hicks. Fat now. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. No one can escape it. We've all
No,
done.
he
Yeah.
kept himself because he's
No,
still
he was
performing,
a little
right?
doughy.
Like
He was. I think fat now.
because he could still book gigs even in his local
Well,
hometown.
he did have a Las Vegas residency in 2012.
Where? At the Whataburger? Where would you have a residency if you're?
There's a lot of casinos and stuff, and they'll.
I mean, Joey Mazan has
yeah,
a
yeah. They have money. Like Vegas has money to pay. If you have any sort of name and you could draw
You know
any
who we
crowd.
should call? Do you have Tuttle's
He
number?
is co-owner of Saw's Juke Joint in Birmingham, Alabama.
Do you have Tuttle's number? Tuttle used to, and almost uncomfortably love Taylor Hicks.
Yeah.
Like
What
Tuttle
was that?
Tuttle to the point
That was
of
a
it.
bit.
It was no. It was almost like a crossover. Like this is the only man that he would ever lust after. Like it was
I
an
can't-
odd obsession with
He
Taylor
also
Hicks.
hosts INSP's food and travel series, State Plate.
Nah,
INSP is a
Sounds bad.
cable network.
Oh, okay, INSP sounds like
primarily featuring westerns and
Okay.
headquartered in Indian Land, South Carolina.
Indian Land. I'm surprised they haven't been forced to change their
Yeah,
name
that
yet
seems
to
odd.
Guardian Land.
You know what's interesting is like the people that got a lot of fame at one point and then live off it the rest of their life, even if they never reach
Clay
anywhere
Aiken.
close. Yeah.
Somebody mentioned that Taylor Hicks went into politics. You're getting him confused with Clay Aiken, who I believe is gay and then finally came out, and I believe is in politics. Like that's his lane now. He's like
because that's a way to use your celebrity for
Oh
something.
yeah,
you know?
Clay Aiken for Congress.
Is he gay? I think he came out finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was openly the whole time. I didn't really
on
watch.
the show, not so much. And then people would question him. You know, it was in that weird area where people are like, "And what does your girlfriend think?" And like people.
Well, it was like 2005,
Yeah.
where it was a different time than now.
It was. It really was.
You know, like coming out was still shocking to people sometimes. I don't know. You know, it's so funny because you get stuck in this mentality where you look at time like 2005, 2008, a long ass time ago,
Yeah.
but. You could get this age where it doesn't seem that long ago because you're middle aged and you're like,
How dare you?
2010 is like, not that long ago, but it's like think about someone who is in their 20s now. They're like, 2010, I was a child.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I was a
Like,
baby.
Hey, June 24th, you can see Taylor Hicks perform in Pensacola, Florida.
Where at? Where's it gonna be?
Florabama.
Florabama, a bar.
I'm guessing, is that a bar? Is that a
I'll talk
festival?
to. Yeah, it's probably right on the line.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a bar on the line. There's a bar right on the line called Florabama, I think, where you go there and then you do the thing where you drink a beer where you're straddling the state line.
No, yeah.
Okay.
That used to be a big thing.
Yeah, my dad drove us up there so we could stand on the state line.
I remember.
So he's still touring. Good for him.
Let's get him in here and get Tuttle in here too and finally connect those dots.
He looks about the same.
Not fat?
No.
Damn it.
well, once
I really wanted him to be like morbidly obese.
if you can find a way to get famous, worldwide famous, even if it's fleeting for like
Psy's
2
back.
weeks.
You asked last week. You asked Psy. Sorry, South Korean superstar. Gangnam Style Psy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got a video game. It popped up in my algorithm. He's got a new app video game that he's doing.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It may be because of you that he popped up on my phone because you mentioned it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he's
yeah.
back, baby.
but
More Korean than ever.
you can essentially live off that fame for the rest of your entire career, just even if it's local. Because think about it, like if you have nationwide fame, you can at least get club appearances. Like you could get
Yeah.
booked at.
It
your
doesn't mean they're
local-
good, but you can keep doing it.
Yeah, you could probably with. I'm curious about the money what Taylor Hicks can make now.
5Gs.
No, well, I'm saying yearly. Like you think?
Oh,
he
no,
makes
I'm
six
talking about
figures?
the appearance. That's probably too much, isn't it? 5Gs.
No. I mean, because think about it. Like if a club can make, 8,000 off of you,
But he's
then
not a
5,000.
household name. Like, even like,
Taylor Hicks, that could still draw people who are like, oh yeah, I remember that name.
I think if I told you, though, like if I
It's
said,
old Meemaws and Tuttle, right?
like
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
walked
yeah.
in
But still,
here and I
people-
said to Sam would get it, I believe, because she's got a good memory and into music. But if I walked in here this morning and said, hey, did you hear about Taylor Hicks? You'd be like, no, tell me, refresh who that is again. You would tell me that. You'd be like, tell me who that is again.
Yeah, but if you said Taylor Hicks from American Idol, I would
You'd be like,
oh,
gray-haired
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I'm not interested in going to see him, but he has a name that's recognizable and can still draw a crowd. I mean, dude, local bands will charge $5,000. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, so someone as national as Taylor Hicks, like Meemaws and Tuttles,
I don't think
would
that's a
go.
good investment.
You know,
I wouldn't pay more than $5 for him to play my
I
bar.
wouldn't
how
either,
am I?
but-
How am I going to make that money back?
Floribama sure is. I
I
don't
think,
know. I don't know how much he costs,
I don't
but
think people would show up because, like,
yeah, I mean, well, like, but there's lots of other lesser known people that require more than
what
that.
was the song? He had a song. Did he win American Idol?
I think he did, right?
I want to say he did too.
Maybe something like that.
I should remember that, right? But I don't remember him. I'll tell you who I remember are the people that didn't win.
Yeah, he won the 5th season.
I remember Ruben Studdard,
Yeah, what
the
about
larger
him?
black guy. He won, and then the runner-up was
Are we just
Clay
doing
Aiken.
American Idol? Where are they now?
Well, sort of, because like the show had an impact on us at that time. You know, the one that I remember because she was cute, she didn't go anywhere. First season, Ryan Starr. Remember her?
No, I don't remember that
She
one.
was cute.
There's no way we even know or recognize the names of the past 5-year winners, right?
Hell no, not
Like,
me.
We never even
No,
it,
not the past 5 years.
like it wouldn't even register at all.
Not for any of us. And I listen to a lot of new music, and no.
Maybe even because we're referencing a time when it was at the height of popularity.
But I know Grandma Lee from America's Got Talent, and she's dead.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
died last year.
Speaking of the Last Comic Standing would do the same thing. Like if you won that, they'd put you on a Last Comic Standing tour
Yeah.
with some of the other people,
You know
and
who?
they make money.
You know who I saw on there when he was doing it was Skippy from
Mark Price?
Yeah, Mark Price. Skippy from why can't I think?
Family Ties.
Family Ties. Thank you.
Our
yeah.
brains are not working today.
One collective brain is here today.
Hey,
good thing,
it's after
good
the
thing we cut it
weekend.
in thirds. My
What are
God.
you talking about? It's Wednesday.
Oh God, and we got to get out of here.
So do we?
Oh no, we switched
we?
it. Sorry, I thought we were doing the 13. We're not. Never
Where
mind.
are we? What's happening?
I don't know. I got 1/3 of a brain.
Let's talk Shaggy. So
We're switching to
Sam,
Shaggy.
Mr.
Yeah.
Lava Lava. Is that Shaggy?
You told
Mr.
me.
Lava Lava.
What was the story now?
He recently received
Received
an honorary degree from Brown University. He also gave the speech to the graduates, and he also performed "It Wasn't Me," which I thought kind of inappropriate because it's about getting caught having sex with your
Yeah.
neighbor or whatever. But it's also
Yeah.
do these kids even know this
And it's
song?
also
it's
the
20
most-
years
22
old.
years ago.
Yeah, it's also the most uncomfortable place to cheat on your wife is the bathroom floor, right?
Disgusting.
Yeah, like on the bath mat, real germy,
Disgusting.
real germy, and I
Why-
can only imagine his doggy.
Did he go to Brown? Is
No.
that what?
Oh, yuck!
Well, when these colleges do these things sometimes with no
He did it
affiliation.
over Zoom. It was great.
But why did they ask him to do that and give a commencement speech to a college
Because
that he
they
has
need
no?
a commencement speech, right? It's
So they just need a celebrity to do
Yeah.
it. But if it's a celebrity that has no affiliation with the school whatsoever, like he didn't go there,
Well,
he didn't
like
what
Carrot
is
Top,
it?
I think does a lot of shows and a lot of appearances for the University of Florida, right?
But did he go there
I
to
don't.
UF?
I don't know.
At least he grew up in Florida. Maybe
Has
he
Tosh
grew
ever
up-
done it for UCF? Because that would make sense. Is that what you're looking for?
Well, he went there.
Right. No, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
That's what
No,
Tom's
if you
looking for.
went
He
there,
wants
then-
Tosh. He speaks to UCF because he went to that school. That makes sense in your commencement speech brain.
Well, yeah, of course, because this guy who's a celebrity now, he went to the school and now he's giving a commencement speech to people that are graduating from the school. Like it ties in, right? But if you give a commencement speech to a school you never even went to, then what is it?
And Shaggy was a military guy.
He was, yeah.
I don't think he went to college. I remember him being a military
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for your
Well,
service, Shaggy.
I'm assuming it's just because he has charities and he gives back to the community.
He seems like a good dude, Shaggy.
He received a doctorate of fine arts, and he delivered the
Fine arts.
honorary degree oration for the class because it was supposed to. This is for the class of 2020. So this is like a 2-year-old. These kids have already graduated.
Oh,
they probably
God.
have jobs.
Oh, they've already had jobs and been
but
fired.
they had to cancel the commencement ceremony 2 years ago. So this is a makeup ceremony, and they still kept Shaggy. as
Nobody
the-
should go to that, right? Like if they're like, "Hey, you
I
want to
don't know
make up the commencement?" We're like, "Nah, don't worry about it. We'll skip it. No big deal. Save that money.
It's weird.
Don't need it.
Save that Shaggy money."
So, but the honorary degree, what is it? Is it just a plaque? Like it's just a plaque.
Tom, we got Cheryl Hines for UCF. That's
Right,
a good
graduate.
one. Yeah, well, we got Cheryl Hines from Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's a good one. We got blessed. That's way better than Shaggy.
But the honorary degree,
It says the degree is typically a doctorate or less commonly a master's degree and may be awarded to someone who has no prior connection with the academic institution or no previous post-secondary education at all. It seems like a lot of it's honoring people that they think have contributed to society, and they also sometimes will work it in where like they donate to the universities, so then they get a degree.
Shaggy
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
build a library.
but I'm like wondering
Right.
what exact like what it,
It's a piece of paper.
it's just a piece of paper that you.
well, you get the robe and you get the hat.
Sure.
But you know what I don't
but it-
like? I like the standard regular hat. I don't like the one that makes you look like a medieval magician.
What do
There's
you mean?
different
Oh,
hats.
oh, the
like
one-
when they do a doctorate, it almost looks like they have a tiny canopy bed sitting on their head.
Yeah. That's
And I don't like that. It makes you look like you own a pocket, like you're like an old apothecary. What are those things? Apothecary?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're like
yeah.
selling potions in the forest.
yeah.
I don't want to wear that hat.
I don't like the super old like garb and traditional wear.
I'm
that, like-
anti-old garb.
Like I don't like the European courts and like
The wig.
Yeah, the
But
yeah.
you know what I
It's
do?
Stupid
I
to me.
flipped
I'm like,
on
what
it.
the hell are you doing?
I have flipped on it and tell me if maybe I can flip you too. The reason I like it now, I used to hate it, is they make the women wear it too, and it's funny when I see a woman wearing a wig, a white wig. I'm like, they make you wear it too.
But
Take that.
It doesn't give you trust in the institution that they have progressed to current day. You know, because no one wants to live in old school laws.
Well, maybe
you know, like
that's-
antiquated rules and laws that govern our society. You're like, well, these don't translate to current times.
Or flip your thinking, and it takes a bold man or woman who's defending your honor to have to, like, one step to, even get there, they got to put the wig on. So it's almost like it's a litmus test of, do they really want to be there? You see what I'm saying? So it's like a positive. It's like, man, if they're willing to put that wig on, then they're damn sure going to fight for me.
Well, they have to. Like,
That's what I
can't-
mean.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they could go in a different lane,
guess,
right? They
yeah.
could do they could do like all behind the computer law. There's tons of lawyers that I know that never do cases, right?
Also receiving an honorary degree this year, Taylor Swift from New York University.
I want an honorary degree.
And she joked in the commencement speech, and she said, "Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm 90% sure the reason I'm here is because I have a song called 22." She knows she doesn't deserve this.
Yeah, yeah,
Aren't
yeah,
people mad when they give these?
Well,
fake
they don't
degrees?
Well,
care
it's,
anyway.
it's nothing. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not like they're in
Yeah,
the
they can't
system.
use it for
Yeah,
anything.
it's not
Yeah.
like Taylor Swift could be
So
like.
why do it?
It's a marketing
Yeah.
thing for the college.
It's
So-
a way for them to get around the hatred that they would receive if we knew they
Oh, I'd
paid
be so mad.
$30,000.
I'd be so mad if my school got Shaggy instead of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want Shaggy. You'd feel real bad if you got Shabba Ranks. Real bad.
Jabba. And they don't do it for every graduating class either. Because I remember I went to my college graduation. They didn't have any celebrity
like
giving
big money
convention.
schools.
Can I tell you guys that
Like they do it every once. Like UCF has done it before. They'll bring in a celebrity and for a graduating class, but it's just random. It's just like luck of the draw.
that's John Popper from Blues Traveler? Oh my God. I got to tell you something. There was a time, there was a skit on In Living Color. I think it was called the Mr. Ugly Man skit, where and you couldn't do this skit now, where you could just blatantly call someone disgusting. Where I believe the only premise for the skit was that they had a guy dress up like Shabba Ranks. And he was like, Mr. Ugly Man. And he was like, Shabba, because he looked like a creature.
Right?
Yes, like Shabba Ranks, not the most attractive person. And the entire skit on In Living Color was just, this guy's so ugly, he's scaring everyone. And that's the bit. That's the humor. You couldn't do that now, right? People would not do that.
Yeah, I guess that people are more sensitive about
They
making
are.
fun of someone's
But
looks.
man, does it make me laugh, the Mr.
Yeah.
Ugly Man skit. Good Lord. Go, Mr. Oh, no, EJ. Thank you,
No,
EJ.
it is Mr. Ugly Man. I found it on YouTube. I put it in there.
Oh, is it in
yeah,
there?
EJ's line.
I wonder if
EJ
it's-
doesn't know.
I wonder if it still holds up, Mr. Ugly Man.
Well, I don't
Click
even
the
know who
link.
Shabba Ranks is. Like I know the song, but I couldn't
no
even tell you what he
kids
looks
would
like.
know who Shabba Ranks is. Like nobody.
No, hell no.
Absolutely not. All right, hold on. Let me get it over here. Here's the little Mr. Ugly Man.
Mr. Ugly Man. Mr. Ugly Man. Mr. Ugly Man. Champion lover, don't come home tonight. No.
They made him like a special.
Don't turn on the light.
It's terrible.
Champion lover, you look like you lost the fight. Oh. Ugly brother,
In Living
you're so
Color
ugly,
took
I
a lot of
can't
risks.
say goodnight.
This is a funny ass
Yeah.
bit.
With the love and occupy, with the love and right by, with the love and occupy, with the love and right by, with the love and occupy.
Still holds up.
Well, there's also a time in the night. I mean,
Wayne's brothers are crazy.
Pre-social media, to complain to any of these networks, you'd have to write them a letter, which was a step too far for a lot of people, right? No one's writing a list. So they got very little complaints. So they could really do whatever they want. Right now, they instantly get scared by how easy it is to complain through social media. And that scares the networks, so they don't do any of this
They're
stuff
not
anymore.
they're not even like trying to shoot around the target. They're just like, this guy's straight ugly. We're gonna write a whole bit about him.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny.
I feel
Sorry.
you could probably still do it now, especially. I mean, depending on what you're watching. I mean, the internet does it way worse.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it gets shared around. More people saw it than would see in Living Color skit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, most people
Like,
in the chat room didn't even know this existed. But go Google that Mr. Ugly Man video.
like someone will make a TikTok video insulting someone that will get more views than anybody who ever watched any of these big shows. And like, so now it's unregulated by the people, and people are mean, and they'll make fun of anybody.
That is absolutely true. We got to take a break now. We'll take a quick one, and bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Hey, we haven't talked to this gentleman in quite some time, but
Yep.
there's some stuff kicking around out there
Oh,
in the
yeah.
old weathers.
Yeah.
And
It just happened. We had the whatever the hell it was, a tropical depression or whatever.
I mean,
I
here,
don't
if
even
I
know.
just went on what I saw here, it was dark for one day, and then yesterday was absolutely
great.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well,
My
you
God.
get just some misty rain.
Oh, I know her, porn star. I know her.
Mike from Mike's Weather Page is here. How you doing, Mike?
Good, man. Yeah, whether or not you like it or not, whether it's going to happen.
So
That is true.
It's the beginning. It's the beginning of the hurricane season. I believe officially June 1st. Correct?
Yep, we had that PTC thingy, which confused the heck out of everybody. Is it Agatha? Is it Alex? Is it PTC? It's like
Yeah.
hype overload on our first system of the year, and people were panicking, and it ended up being nothing burger for a lot, but a lot of rain down south for sure.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I saw some flooding. I saw some people making the best of the flooding. Normally, Florida people just get out their surfboards and ride behind Jeeps and things like that in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
flooding.
I've been
canoeing.
I saw the TikToks from Miami as people were. My wife showed me one where some lady in like a club dress got out of the sunroof of her car. Her car's like stalled and flooded.
Oh, I did see that.
And then she slid down her her windshield, and she.
It looks fun as hell.
It's just a mess. Like
Yeah.
I've been to flooding in Miami, and people don't know what the hell is going on. Like everybody's driving around, no one, it's a chaos. Anyway, so we got another system right now. Is it already named?
No. Alex, it finally crossed through our state, and it's long gone. I mean, it was big news. First name system of the year always makes the headlines, but it's over Bermuda right now, and it'll be long gone. So that's it. I mean, we always get an early season system. It always gets everybody amped up. I'm glad it happens because it puts everybody in prep mode, and they start thinking about, oh crap, it's hurricane season. And then we'll get a little lull. In August, September, October, things really seem like they ramp up for the big stuff.
Yeah, just in time for us to have Halloween and
So,
more
Mike,
outdoor parties, and it cools off a little bit.
how do we sift through the BS of like every year it's the same thing? We've been talking to you for a while now, Mike.
I only
And-
watched Mike for this. Seriously,
Yeah.
it's like the first time I've ever done this. I avoided the news because they were already giving me kind of a high dose of and I'm like, hold on a second, I don't want to freak out.
Well, but every year it's this year is going to be the the most named storms or it's
Stormageddon.
It's everything. It's always like this year is going to be the worst year or whatever, and it seems like a bunch of hype. What say you, Mike?
Well, I agree with that statement. I mean, scientifically speaking, you can't deny the facts of El Nino and La Nina, and waters are hotter than normal. I mean, those are things that people really like to hype up the fact that we're going to probably see more named storms. But something happened last year. We had Hurricane Ida in Louisiana, and then all of a sudden it was like the tropics ended. Like everybody was predicting a really active October. Like, oh my gosh, the waters are hot. And then boom, all of a sudden it was like the season was over, And so I think the it only takes one. Everybody remembers Hurricane Andrew in 1992. It was a late August system. Those are the ones, you got to worry about. I mean, we can have a year of all fish storms where, 30 named storms curve out to sea. And, everybody last year thinks it was a dead season. Believe it or not, it was the third most active season last year. And then when I tell people that, they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, because we went all the way to the W. And so, it only takes one. Living in Florida, the whole season can come down to one system that makes or break us. So I wouldn't suggest getting wrapped up in these little storms and the amount of named storms. And but yeah, we're actually. I mean, a European model came out yesterday with their seasonal outlook, and it's pointing to possibly Florida East Coast as the hot spots to watch. And the Euro came out with the most active season they've ever predicted. So there are signs that we could see a lot of names this year. So be prepared.
So,
God, I don't even know what that means anymore because,
yeah.
I mean, my wife always handles most of that. I mean, I guess a couple jugs of water, some batteries, a flashlight.
Get some wood and baby formula and gas. You'll be
Okay,
good.
yeah, do that.
Yeah, wood. It's
get some wood.
really expensive.
Yeah, wood is
I
expensive.
just thought of a new shirt. Got wood?
I like that. Write that down, Sam.
You know what?
And then it's just a piece of plywood. I like that.
There's got to be a market in plastic storm shutters, right? Because at this point, plastic is cheaper than wood, right?
I just steal road signs and use those.
Like to get enough wood to cover every window in your house would be insanely expensive right now. Like a sheet of plywood is $50.
Oh, yeah.
So
At
how many windows are you talking about? Like, $500-600 in wood just to get your windows covered.
I don't have tons.
Can you get cheaper plastic?
Because I'm in a townhome. I just want to cover all the interior windows to other parts of my family. Cover those up, so I don't have to see them.
I feel like in Central Florida, what do we need storm shutters for? Like, that's a Miami thing. I always grew up with, like, because of Andrew and like how
a lot
close
of
you
older
are.
homes had that, like the older, like flat roof homes. Like I think we had them on my first house. We had the
Like-
ones that were built into the home, and my dad stored them in like a shed.
Yeah,
And
and they're
then-
metal.
But here's something that are facts. Mike, I'll tell you, my dad had these in the shed, we never put them up. So what good did they do,
They're
right?
into land.
Yeah,
It's like,
I mean,
we're
pretty inland.
you know.
I mean, we're, 30 miles from Daytona?
the chances of a storm coming through. I mean,
We got
we
some
saw
bad
in
ones,
Charlie.
but I never lost a window or anything.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, I've wondered about that. We boarded up for Irma. We had Cat 1 winds here, and I mean, the whole idea obviously is to keep crap from flying through your windows. I mean, bottom line, and it's a risk, if you want to take. I mean, hell, I'm with you. I'm thinking like a pull down piece of plastic that you can get rolls of. I mean, if the whole intent is, I mean, that's not professionally speaking. I don't know, but it seems like a whole lot easier just to like pull some plastic down or something instead of hauling that.
Well, like
heavy ass.
now, this is
Yeah,
this is a good example,
exactly.
bad example. But the Japanese have invented a piece of cellophane that you can now buy online that acts as a plunger for a toilet. It's just a little. It's like a sticker. It's about this big around. It's about the circumference of a toilet. And you just wipe off the top of your toilet when it's clogged. You stick the sticker on and you flush the toilet. And because of the back pressure that it causes with the suction of the sticker that's on there, it instantly unclogs your toilet, and then you put that in there and flush it. And it's done. It's like a one and done scenario. It's like you don't need a plunger, you don't need to wash it, you don't need to keep it next. Like so, couldn't they make like a sheet of plastic, almost like an iPhone Gorilla Glass thing that goes just a little bit in front of your windows, and then if something hits it, then you just roll it up and throw it away.
Well, yeah, I mean, NASCAR has tear-off windshields,
Yeah.
and they got. I mean, they have.
That's a great idea. You could blend your love for NASCAR with also your love for weather, and you could be the first ever made of the same NASCAR rippable windshield technology.
What?
I'm all for it.
pretty sure it wouldn't stop like 100-mile-an-hour
No,
2x4.
Yeah, but
getting,
but you're not going to get most of that stuff. You're going to
Yeah.
get like your 65-mile-an-hour soccer ball, right?
yeah, well,
Well, if we
it's a
get
gamble.
150-mile-an-hour winds, your windows might be safe, but then your roof's gone. So
Yeah,
you sit
right.
in your house and say, "Oh, you got nice sky windows here."
I got the straps. That'll be fun.
I don't think I got this. I guess I have to because I'm in a townhome.
Yeah. So Mike, as we progress into the summer, like you said, and we've talked to you before around this time, the beginning part of the season, we'll see some activity, but there is kind of a lull until we get towards August, September, right? For the most part.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, early season stuff usually is like a tropical wave that might come across, or we had Agatha just come up from the Pacific, and that happens quite often where you get remnants of a Pacific storm, or the seeds though, like tropical waves, don't usually start coming across the Atlantic until like August, maybe late July, and that's when the waters really get warm and the shear relaxes. So like the system this week, you probably saw all that moisture got pushed into Florida. I kept calling it a big moisture surge, but that was Gulf shear. Strong winds just kept our system, from organizing. And the waters are not that hot. So when you get the peak of season when the waters are really, really, really hot, and it's not the surface temp, it's the depth of the warm water. They call it ocean heat content. And the deeper that water goes, more fuel, and then less shear in the atmosphere, and then you get the opportunity for big storms. That's why August, September, October, in October for us specifically, because they come up from the Caribbean and kind of hook up into the state versus coming across the Atlantic.
Mike, do you think, like, we've seen a lot of storms hit Louisiana in the past, 10 years or whatever, like more than even Florida, I would say, like in my recollection, because we remember
Recently,
The
yeah,
big disasters.
I'd
yeah.
agree.
Yeah, but like since Katrina and stuff, like, and Louisiana just seems like it just keeps getting hit by storms over and over.
With their levee issues and the ability to not
Yeah.
fully get that repaired, it's just a mess.
And I feel, if I was like Louisiana, I would be like, we are the hurricane capital, like,
Yeah.
because everybody gives it to Florida, like, oh, Florida, hurricanes hit Florida all the time. I'd be like, I don't know, there's an argument that Louisiana gets more storms, or at least in the past 10 years, than we have.
Yeah,
at
I
least
agree
the
with
devastation.
I agree with that.
Well, apologize for the phone going off.
Oh,
my
it's fine.
car
I think it
warranty.
sounds more official. I was going to say,
Well, yeah,
it sounds like
my
a real
office.
weather room.
National Weather Service
It's
calling
the
you.
red line.
Oh, my God. Who's on the line? It's the National Weather Service. Mike,
It's
we
the
need
hotline.
you. Yeah, I love that.
There you go. I love it. I'm just going to add a sound effect.
You
from now on when I
should,
do
man.
these.
It's like good. You're selling the sizzle here.
It's actually car warranty time. They call every day at the same time.
Oh, right.
But listen, cars I don't even own anymore. That's the funny thing.
I get
But,
those too, yeah.
So the Bermuda high pressure, has been strong these last few years, and storms right around the edges of this high pressure, and it's kind of protected Florida the last few years, and it plops these storms more into the Gulf of Mexico. And Irma, the high pressure broke down just a little bit and allowed our storm to curve back up into the state. And in the years that the East Coast got hit, the high pressure was a little bit weaker, and the storms were able to move up a little bit higher up and get the state. So, this season, like what I was saying with the Euro, they're predicting the high pressure to be kind of strong, which allows systems to curve more into the East Coast or the Gulf. That's kind of where these preseason, predictions come from. They look at the African monsoons, the African rains when they're a song. They look at that. Yeah. They look at Dust in the Wind. All these great classic songs have a lot to do with tropics. And
are you going to do any chasing this year? Or
heck yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, because it seemed like you've gotten a taste of it now, and you've been out there doing it more, and so is this going to be a big season for you of traveling and trying to get in these storms?
Yeah, and it's really been a cool experience because I've some of our supporters are actually like lineman companies, first responders, disaster relief companies. So getting out there and seeing this stuff firsthand, and then what happens right after a storm has been so educational for me. And I think it's really been able to help me, when I do talk about the storms and what you can expect. Now I actually know what I'm talking about. Before I would just guess and go off what everybody else said. Now I'm seeing Cat 4, Cat 5 damage firsthand, and living the lives of these folks that live in these areas. And a lot of them are fans of mine, and so when I go to these areas, they share their intimate details of their experiences they had. And so really, I can't say I enjoy it because it's other people's hardships, but being out in the field really, I learn more, and it is an adrenaline rush. I will admit, it's crazy. I take off in the middle of the night by myself, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? I'm like the Lone Ranger, I got nobody but a internet connection and me,
Yeah, it's exciting
weird.
Though. I think that's cool.
Mike,
I enjoy it.
Remember back in the 50s and government released experiments or documents about how they've tried to figure out if they could somehow disrupt a hurricane by dropping a nuclear bomb and a lot of
an atomic bomb inside
some ridiculous,
or you fly over and you put some sort of chemical inside of it that sucks all the oxygen out of it. And
so how familiar are you with any of those cockamamie theories that they actually turns out they looked into to see if
because harnessing and weaponizing weather has been a dream of me and cartoons since the beginning of time.
So are you familiar with any of these things?
Yeah, they tried it. I need to do my homework. They 100%. There was some government. They dropped. Gosh, I don't want to sound like a moron, but they did drop something in it, and it was a real deal. But what happened was they ended up with another storm, I guess, right after that was still strong and a hurricane, and they realized it didn't do anything. So, they teased the idea, and you can Wikipedia it, and then they gave up on it. I think it was in the 60s, 70s or something. But, you hear about the HARP, you hear about the cloud seeding, anytime there's a, bunch of airplanes in the sky. I can't deny what people think, sometimes the conspiracy theories come true, Area 51, now we got aliens. So maybe there is some truth to whether, modification or not, but we've had some category. Now, if they're doing it, it ain't working because we had Michael just a couple years ago. We had Irma, Ida last year. We had Dorian. Now, if Dorian went 50 miles farther west, it would have been the worst storm ever for Florida. So we still had strong storms. So I don't think whatever they're doing is working if they're doing anything.
Being nearly impossible just with the vast size of a storm. It's what are you going to do? You're talking about the damn storm is the entire length or the size of Florida or so. You know what I'm saying?
Nowhere to run.
The eye is 50 miles wide. Is some gigantic. What are you going to do to it?
As time goes on, Mike, we see records being broken in sports because athletes get bigger and better. Are hurricanes getting bigger and better at decimating areas? Do you think that they'll ever have to change what a category 5 is because we're eking into a category something else?
A 6?
Yeah, there's rumor. not official rumors, but yeah, you've heard of category 6 discussions. But there are charts that I use when I do these little presentations that the water is getting warmer. Like I tell everybody, I'm not a climate guy. I don't, follow all that history, but you can't deny the fact that waters are getting warmer.
Yeah.
And there are stronger storms over the years. So, just those two things alone, we know that the storms are getting a little stronger, and it takes a lot of years to chart this, but there are signs. And the one interesting fact here that I always share, and I think it's so important, is there's been 4 landfalling Category 5s in the United States, and all 4 of these were just tropical storms 3 days out.
Wow.
And then the National Hurricane Center came out with another graphic now that we had, I think, 10 storms that were 150 or more, and all but one were a tropical storm 3 days out. And that included Ida last year, was 150 range. So I think the most fascinating thing about hurricanes is that when they peak, at the wrong time, they're still intensifying. And Ida was that way. And then when you get to the marshlands of New Orleans, that water actually adds as fuel. And the storm never really lost that punch, because it's so marshy up there with the wetlands. So they're learning a lot more about this peaking at the wrong time, and loop currents and loop eddies in the Gulf of Mexico really affect us because that keeps the Gulf warmer.
Yeah.
So things you learned about as a kid with the Gulf Stream, believe it or not, affects hurricanes,
Sure.
And it had a big effect on a lot of these majors that we've had over the years.
Let's finish with some ABC. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know where we
Hey,
were
I'm ready,
going.
man. It's 5 o'clock
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Well, there's
do it.
the sponsor of Mike's Weather Page, the
Yes.
sponsor of Tom and Dan.
The finest of sponsors.
Is there any Hurricane Hunter beer left, Mike?
We sold out, man, and with the whole supply chain issue with cans and aluminum
Yeah,
and big
it's hard to
storms doing
get.
so good, we're hoping for another batch. I'm really good friends with LJ, the owner of Big Storm, so we'll see. I am going to be doing a meet and greet with ABC soon. They're doing a grand opening here in Largo, so we're going to try to do something. They've been great to me, been great to you guys, and
Absolutely.
We love
it's
them.
you think about a sponsor that just kind of pretty much enjoys what you do and they don't ask for much. And that crew, loves the Florida base. You guys are Florida born. I'm Florida born.
Yep.
They're Florida born. And it's awesome. That's what sponsorship's all about,
Yeah, I love their selection of Florida beers. Your beer being a Florida beer.
Yeah.
I love that.
We're
By
about
the
to-
way, I finally got to have your beer and it's delicious. So if
thanks, man.
anybody saved some of that, it's damn good.
Mike, we're about to make a beer coming up.
We gotta get him
on
some.
Father's Day weekend called Dad Jokes. It's a golden ale.
I'll get you some. I'll ship you some for sure because you shipped us some.
Yep.
I'm the best. I'm the worst dad joke guy. But
Well,
I
yeah.
love dad jokes.
Well, this is
No,
perfect.
you're the
then.
best dad joke guy then.
Yeah. This.
I say, when I have to explain the joke to people, it's a good joke.
Yeah.
So we'll send you some, Mike. It's going to be coming out June 18th at Hourglass Brewing. So, Mike, thanks so much for taking the time. And
anytime.
we enjoy what you do.
Yeah,
and
man.
again, it's Mike's Weather Page on Facebook.
Yeah, go
And-
follow him.
Yeah. And
You
he'll
probably already do.
exactly. He'll give you all the updates on all storms coming up. Mike, we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Anytime, guys. Have a good one. Thanks.
All right,
Bye,
man.
Sam.
Be good. That is
Bye.
Mike from Mike's Weather Page, live from his basically where he does all of his little shows for you.
Yeah.
When he's up all night, like tracking things, that's exactly where he does it from.
Forgot to talk to him about all the recognition he's getting from
I mentioned
like
it,
the local
yeah.
government storm. It's like he's doing because think about it, like this guy, he's doing a public service to
Yeah.
people. Like
He protects me. He helps you out. He gives you the info you need to keep you and your family safe. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That is true.
and so like,
And in a way where he doesn't, and this isn't a knock on anybody, but he doesn't sensationalize it in a way where he's trying to scare you and your family. He will honestly tell you, yeah, guys, you better leave that area. Like, he's very, very practical about, he just tells you what the real is.
yeah, he's not trying to scare you for ratings or
No.
whatever. Like it doesn't matter to him.
I got a
Like,
dose of that this weekend where
Oh,
it's like, I'm looking outside, like you were at the beach, I was riding my bike for 2 hours, Samantha's at the theme parks, I'm looking outside, and on the TV they're like, Stormageddon, what's happening? I'm like, there's nothing happening.
It's misty rain.
Yes, it's
Like,
raining, and yes, people should not be driving in that. I saw the same videos
No,
you're
I
talking
drove-
about, but
I
that's just
drove-
Miami. That is Miami. That has nothing to do with the storm.
Well, yeah. Like where you have bad thunderstorms and flooding that happens
We
when
have
there's
that
bad thunderstorms.
every season.
But the tropical depression, tropical storm, you could drive in a tropical storm.
Yes.
It's misty rain. Like you're looking outside, you're like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like you could. I've drove in a Category 1 hurricane. where it's like the borderline category 1.
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna
fine.
stick to listening to Mike's advice. I'm not gonna listen to Tom Van's.
Wait till we
advice.
start our page. Wait till we start our page.
And once you get past
MistyRain.com.
Yeah, Mr. Rain. Don't go to MrRain.com.
you get past 3, stay inside. Well, everything else fine. All right. Bye-bye.